Oracle Primavera P6 offers many ways to guide project deadlines, but one option often causes more confusion than clarity, and that's the project's must finish by date. Let's look at 2 reasons why seasoned schedulers tend to avoid it. The first reason is it can provide us with misleading total float values and a disruption in the ability to view our critical path. Here I have a project that has no must finish by date applied. You'll see it has 0 days of total float, which is the amount of time an activity can slip before it delays the overall project's scheduled finish date. I also have several critical activities that are noted in my activity table as well as read in my Gantt chart so that I can see which activities are driving towards the end date of my project. Now, when I impose a must finish by date on this project, I'm currently scheduled to finish on May 1st. I'm going to push that must finish by date out, so we're going to finish a week early. When I impose that must finish by date and I reschedule, you are going to see that I lose visibility into the critical path. When I impose a must finish by date, it's electing to have my total float value tell me something different. Now this total float value is going to show me the amount of time an activity can slip before delaying past the targeted must finish by date rather than my scheduled finish. So you see those total float values increase to a positive value. We are going to finish before our must finish by date. This directly results in the clearing of my critical checkboxes for my activities and them turning green in my Gantt chart. This is because P6 by default uses that total float value to calculate its critical path. Now, if I am going to use a must finish by date, it is amply important that I make sure I change my definition for critical activities to be a reflection of the longest path through the schedule rather than a value based on the total float. Because when I impose that must finish by date, I'm changing what the total float value reflects. Once I reschedule with that longest path option, I'm going to see the visibility into that critical path is restored. I now see my critical checkboxes. I see my red activities in my Gantt chart, but it does not change that total float value. The total float value will continue to be a reflection towards how we're tracking towards that targeted must finish by date rather than our scheduled finish date. The second reason you see the must finish by date avoided by our seasoned schedulers is because we actually have what we'll call a hidden time of day rule. Now, a lot of the times in Primavera, we are not choosing to show time, but Primavera is always tracking the times for our activities. I can choose to turn that on in my user preferences in my dates tab. I can choose to show the time associated with the start and finish dates of my activities and the overall project. Now, one thing you might notice when you turn on time is that that must finish by date often has a time of day of midnight. So here I have another project where once I show time, I can see that this project is scheduled to finish at 4 p.m. on March 31st, but its must finish by is set to 12 a.m. or midnight on March 31st. So when I open this project up, I'm going to see that even though I am scheduled to finish by March 31st at the end of the day, end of the business day, I have -1 day of total float for this project because my time of day is set to midnight. So technically, this project is not done by midnight on the 31st. So again, if you are going to choose to utilize the must finish by date, you really want to make sure that you're setting the appropriate time of day for when your project should finish. That's going to make sure that your total float value is reflecting properly how you're trending towards finishing that project. So once I correct that time of day and I reschedule my project, you'll see that total float correct itself to show that I am actually going to finish in time by my must finish by date. The takeaway: avoid relying on that must finish by date and stick to logic-driven scheduling for accurate reporting and clear critical path. For more tips, check out our full training resources at globalpm.com.